Yeah, all I can tell you, I can tell you, want to hear one little bear story? I don't want to tell too many bear stories, but because there's so many of them, it actually gets boring after a while. But I'll tell you two bear stories. One is with my friend Mouse. We were on this rehab operation. After a fire, we're trying to take all the clumps of tundra and taiga that the cats had piled up to try to rehab the fire. So we were there for quite a while. And all of a sudden, we had about 6 bears roll into our camp, and they were everywhere. They were just kind of you never know. The more familiar they become with us, the more dangerous they really become. And so one time, we had this one guy who was petrified of bears, and he had this big gun, a 44 Magnum. Most guys up there carry these big guns, and so he wasn't getting any sleep at all. And he was like sitting in front of the campfire with the gun, trying to guard us from the bears. And so it turns out we weren't too worried more now about the bears. We're talking about a sleep-deprived guy with a big gun, and he's probably not very clear on what's going on. He's so sleep-deprived. So anyway, that's our big fear. But anyway, Mouse and I, we come out and we're looking at all these different bears, and all of a sudden we see this huge, big one on this gravel bar across this little river, and so Mouse saying, "That's God, he must be 600 pounds." And all of a sudden, Mouse falls down on the ground, and of course, Mouse thinks I pushed him, and he goes "troop," and he turns around. And he's about ready to get mad at me, and he goes, and the bear was standing. This bear was standing. The bear that knocked Mouse down was standing right beside me, but he never made any noise, so I had no idea that the bear was right. But he's right beside me, and Mouse doesn't know what to say or do because, I'm like inches away from this thing. So finally, I see what he's talking. I look and I see this huge bear. And so I kind of very slowly move over to where Mouse is, and Mouse gets up, and he's got this shotgun, this big shotgun, and so there's a tree right next to the bear's head, and I thought Mouse would shoot the bear because it's like this is probably a good time to shoot the damn thing, And he shoots it right next to the tree. I think it was probably 6 inches from the bear's head. And I go, "How could you miss?" Mouse says, "Well, I didn't want to shoot the bear. I was just trying to scare him." And he never blinked his eyes, nothing. And then he just kind of moved off. So finally, I went up to our leader in this project, and I walked into his tent. And I goes, "Okay, Tommy, we got a big problem. And he goes, "Yeah, the bears." I go, "No, not the bears. It's the guy with the gun that won't sleep. You gotta get him to sleep, or you gotta do something with the bears so that he's not so uncomfortable and making us so uncomfortable." So they did. We went ahead and shot some bears, and the word went through the bear community pretty quick, and they left and didn't come back. But then I gotta tell you, is there enough? One time. We got to jump into the big bear sanctuary, McNeil River, very famous, world famous for people who sign up 5 years ahead of time, even presidents of the United States to go see these bears at McNeil River. So we fly over the thing, and here's this grass fire moving towards all the facilities. And so we jump, and my friend John DeBay, he's the first guy to get on the ground, and he goes up to the guy and says, "You got any burlap bags?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." And so they went ahead and he led the guy and showed him what to do, and they saved the cookhouse. Well, then the whole state and everybody were really pretty grateful that we saved all these facilities because if that had burned down and the fire was really close and everything. So they come in, they fly in, all these officials from the state, and they say, you guys, you can go fishing here, you can do anything, we're going to keep you around for a while, and whatever you want to do, just don't even worry about the game laws or anything, just have fun. You really helped us out, whatever. So here's the big expert on brown bears on the planet. He's a neat guy, and he knows a lot about the bears, so he's going to take us up to the falls where we can see all the bears. So we're walking along, and every guy is armed. We've got about 16 armed smoke jumpers with big handguns, all 44 Magnum handguns, and a lot of shotguns. And I always had a shotgun with me. But anyways, all of a sudden, we come to a bear, and he's on the other side of this river. The river's probably maybe 40 feet wide. And this bear, all of a sudden, jumps into the river, comes right at us. And it was so fast, and it was so big, everybody just, including the expert, the guide, never got his gun up, never reacted fast enough to be able to do anything. And this little cub comes scooting right out from under our feet and goes into the river, and the mama's standing there on the hind legs, growling at us, and little bear runs to the mother and then scoots on up the river. And I mean, like, here, we just watched this huge thing. I mean, you can see movies of bears like that, and you can have all kinds of people tell you bear stories and all that. But you until something like that moves towards you and you see how fast it is, you have no idea how intimidating something like that is. It is undescribable. And this thing, well, I would say he was no more than 20 feet from us standing there. I mean, it was really something. But anyway, though we had so many other encounters with grizzly bears and the deer, but actually the worst problems were from the black bears and not the grizzlies. Anyway, so everybody went back to the guy who was the guide, the leader of the whole McNeil program. He was shook up, and he brought everybody. He said, "We're not going up there. We're just going back to the cabins." So, of course, me and DeBay, my friend John DeBay, he and I go, "Well, shit, we gotta go see the bears." So we scoot over into this other drainage, and we figure, well, we'll just go up this drainage, and then eventually we'll flip over. Can't be too far away. We'll get on that trail and continue on up. Well, we end up in this alder tunnel, and what it is, it's just a tunnel of alder, and there's no way to get out of the tunnel. It's almost like a rock wall. And the dirt is all wet and bear tracks all through it. And you can smell bear in it. And so we get in there. I mean, we're in there like about a quarter of a mile, and we go, we're in a lousy place here. The bear could be coming from behind us, or it could be coming in front of us. What are we to do? I mean, we got this little shotgun. It's a 12-gauge single barrel shotgun, a Harrington Richardson shotgun with slugs. But after having already seen that huge thing, I feel that that's pretty not good enough. And so we didn't know whether we should, well, it can't be that much further. So we keep going and going and going, and the further we go, the more stupid we think we are. And finally we break out and we go over and we get to the falls, the very famous falls, no bears. And so we go back, but that's just a little adventure. And right there where we were camping, back where the cabins were, there were all kinds of little bears and big bears that came out there, and a lot of the bears were orphans. And that guy, the grizzly bear expert, he said, yeah, they'll be killed and eaten by the male bears because they've been, for some reason, abandoned by their mothers, or the mother's been unable to find them or something, but they're doomed. They're not going to make it. So, anyways, we had a very interesting stay at McNeil. That's probably of all the grizzly bear, brown bear type pictures you saw in calendars and everything. That's where those pictures are all taken. Same falls. Yeah. Anyway,